All right, guys. Hey, welcome back to the channel. Um, I was watching Philip McKnight, and he had me really cracking up with his podcast this Friday. And I don't know if you remember this segment, but talking about trends and this guy, I have a lot of respect for Philip because he's really insightful when it comes to this kind of stuff. And this one little clip right here was kind of just had me busted up because we have to be honest with ourselves and realize it's really true. We get sucked in. I'm guilty of getting sucked into a lot of trends, especially with the imported guitars, with Firefly. But it also helps us to explore and try to get to really putting in our hands and seeing the differences between what we've been accustomed to, like with Fender guitars and Squier guitars and Ibanez guitars, and now seeing the flux of imports. At least we get to see a lot of it. And a lot of these channels, with these guys who are bringing in they're more like car salesmen. It's kind of like, what's the reason for their channel is, one is to grow their channel through subscribers and views and stuff like that. Me, I'm totally low tech. I record with my phone, I record with earbuds, and for my channel to be even, it only exists for one reason, because I want to document my journey through music. My channel's not about growing subscribers so that I can have a a big channel, or to have that focus is always about getting subscribers. And that's what a lot of YouTubers are. Their focus is about how to get more subscribers because that's their thing. For me, it's about just sharing my life with you guys, sharing the realities of guitars, music, what my experience has been, and like the deal of the week, what kind of deal did I get on a guitar. But I'm not doing it for the channel. I'm just showing you kind of what my life goes through as I'm getting older at 62. Anyway, today I'm getting on another topic. Let's see what he had to say. This had me cracking up.
You can make yourself a little rig, if you want to. You could just plug two output jacks and solder it all together and make yourself a little quick experimental rig if you want. You can have all kinds of fun. I've done it to nauseum, trying to pick this holy grail capacitor. Everything goes in trends. Right now, I kind of think we're mostly on the stainless steel trend and what else are we on? Not tone wood. Tone wood's not really an argument anymore that people are freaking out about. Sure, people argue about it, but people argue about everything because they're idiots. But I'm talking about people go through like with the pedal boom. There was a capacitor boom. It was probably I felt like it was in the mid 2000s. Is that like 2010 to 2015? People were just like, all these, all of a sudden it was the rage, and I remember because every day somebody came in and go, hey Phil, I want you to work on my guitar. And I got these capacitors from a Russian war surplus in the middle of, Soviet Union under lock and key next to nuclear weapons, and they're military grade, and I want to put them on my guitar. And then the next person come in and go, I got these capacitors that were smuggled out of a third world country because they're illegal to have in the United States because of safety laws. So I'm like, okay, I'm being sarcastic.
True,
You get the point.
like
it was a capacitor thing. Yeah. All of a sudden everybody's like, oh, and the more expensive capacitors, the better. All of a sudden, and here's where I say this. The trend is always easy to figure out because it's stuck on all the advertising. It's like guitar with stainless steel frets, guitar with mahogany body, guitar with roasted neck. We're still on the roasted neck thing too. Roasted neck, guitar with oil paper capacitor, guitar, right? It's always like this thing they're trying to sell you as, if you just get this one material or component, then you finally achieved it. You have finally you've made it. You're a real musician now. You can call your mom and be like, "Yeah, Mom, I did it. I'm a real guitar player. I got paper and oil capacitors and my roasted neck guitar with stainless steel frets, with Honduran mahogany, and I've done it." I don't know what it is. It's sure fun, right? I feel like
That is fucking funny, man. That is so true. And what's crazier is there's a lot of guys on YouTube who are pitching that whole thing. You know, if you just get this one imported guitar, you know, whether it be Feasley or Leo James, you know, you've done it. You made the cut. Now you know the difference between a Fender and a Firefly, and you've done it. You know, you've gotten it, but it's all just like he says. It's a trend. Okay, so my little I don't know. I was watching football, you know, but man, everything's got commercials on it, so we're just gonna get out of that. This is just this is a real good backing track. This is in the style of John Bonham. I'll be using that today a little bit. I did speed it up. It's at 75 beats per minute. I pushed it up to probably 100 beats per minute, but this is a real good drum track, just because of the style. Not all drum tracks are in this style, but this one in the style of John Bonham is really good. What I'm talking about today is, will this get smaller? Let me see. Yeah, it's this DSP with the funk filter. This is the only one that I know that has the funk filter. Yeah, it's really cool. So the DSP Luminous is quite different from a lot of the other DSPs because it just has a different set of stomp boxes. So you do have your compression down here, and you do have it up there. So I don't, yeah. So there's kind of different. This DSP is different, and I think the fun thing about this DSP, and most of them, is just kind of spending time discovering what little things you do to kind of shape your sound and how it shapes the sound. And that's the learning curve, is just navigating through a DSP. It's really simple, just by turning knobs or going through console, clean, rhythm, or lead. This one's unique because of this style of amp that they've chosen to use, and also the pedals that they're incorporating. So a lot of DSPs will incorporate one reverb pedal to kind of articulate all styles. But this is not the case with this one, because you do have a shop, whatever that is. Space was probably Hall. Dream, that's probably Super Hall. Who knows? But then you have a separate one that's just for the spring reverb type. So I guess when they created this DSP, the engineers and the guys who create this stuff, they decided to do something independently. So maybe this is really capturing that spring reverb in this DSP, because it's not incorporated with this particular one. And the delays, again, cover all the delays that you see here, so they're not separate delays, but they're all incorporated. And then most of them do have a shape EQ and mastering EQ. This one has the McLaughlin suite, or the Polychrome. This particular DSP isn't using microphone settings, but they do it by speaker simulations and cab simulations. But you normally don't see a microphone, that you can move around and place them. On some of them you can, but not this one. And then you have these stomp boxes. This one has sort of vibes. Under vibes, you get your tremolo and vibrato. In here, I do see, well, it's probably a little different, vibrato, flutter. I haven't even really messed with this. And then you have your tremolo, and you have different settings. Again, I haven't messed with that. And then you have your blues driver, or however you want to set this up. could be a boost, but it's usually just the blue drivers, and then your duo shift, and they have incorporated two of them. So if you wanted to have two massive signals going through this, you could, or just one, to change the octaves on that. So in this particular one, they gave you two. I guess because two's better than one. I don't know. But what's different about this one is, see here in your mod, you have an incorporated chorus, flanger, phaser, blah, blah, blah. Okay, that's kind of normal. And then your comp, but you got one up here too, so I'm not sure why there's two of them for compression. But the funk filter, this is what's unique. This particular DSP has the funk filter, which honestly none of them do. This is the only one. You could have just complete fun for days screwing around with this funk filter, because it's really cool. Not a lot of guitar tones offer that kind of thing. And it's not so much of an effect that it ruins all the other notes, the singular notes. You still have a little bit of clarity on those other notes. But it's one of those stomp boxes that just really offers you a lot of fun. And then using the 59, it's kind of cool. So I'll use just as a small example, I'll goof around a little bit with the John Bonham drum track, and then we'll see what that kind of sounds like with this funk filter, with the Polychrome DSP Lumos. Let's check it out. Okay, so we're back with the 59 Les Paul, and I've been kind of experimenting more with the tone and volume knobs, and it really does make a lot of difference. I think that these pickups really allow for a lot of tonal varieties and volume changes when you do it right. I think Philip McKnight kind of does a good example of, here in the rhythm section, cleaning it up, but then when you go down to the humbucker, you get a real crunch and bites, kind of like instant foot switching, I did that with one backing track. It turned out really well, and so I'm really happy about that. However, the tuners, these Wilkinson tuners, I don't like them. That they don't hold a tune very well. It's the only weak point of the guitar. If you guys happen to know a good replacement that offers better tuning stability, drop it down in the comments. I would like to get rid of these. They're decent, but I find myself tuning the guitar a lot because I just think they're not that good of a tuner. I would like something that has more resistance to kind of keep it more firm so they don't shift. And I think if I'm tuning it more, there has to be some sort of slippage going on in the gearing with these. So, and there's always a compromise with manufacturers and why they chose to use this rather than something more superior. Like, is Wilkinson that good of a tuner to put on a full retail price guitar of almost $900? I don't think so, but they did it anyway. So, and these would be classic, something that you don't have to re-drill, something that gives you better tuning stability. Sometimes that's why I like Fender tuners. You got your little torque screw to keep them more firm, and they really do work that way. They keep the gearing snug so that the string doesn't slip and fall back on. But this one, I don't like it. But if you guys know of a better tuner that just slides in but offers better quality than these Wilkinson, please let me know. I would like to get a better set of tuners for that. Back to the middle. All right, with the funk filter, a lot of fun. Where am I at? Something to kind of give you an idea of how fun that is. Anyway, you can have a lot of fun with this, with some of these DSPs. There's no doubt about it. You're always going to get the best reverbs and delays, but sometimes with some of these, you just get a really, really nice, and they're all really different in a lot of ways, and they're all a lot of the same when it comes to the delays and reverbs. So it all depends, I think like this Luminous really offers something different in a more classical setting with the funk filter for recording, and stuff like that, because we're all bedroom rock stars, as Philip McKnight has said. If you're looking for something that's very ambient, the McLaughlin suite offers that Polychrome. easy to manipulate. Definitely the Polychrome McLaughlin Suite Afterglow is one of the best ambient tones I've heard. And when I first heard it, I was like, wow. Because it's so crisp, so clean, so ambient. It's not all mushy and things just don't fly away unless you want it to fly away. But it's just so focused and centered, and that's one thing that. And it's easy right here on your desktop to kind of just manipulate those tones. Anyway, guys, thank you again for today, spending a little bit of time talking about the funk filter, Philip McKnight. Yeah, we did it, Mom. You know, I got the 59 finally. I'm a true rock star now. I made it, you know. Yeah, and you know, it just cracked me up. So anyway, yeah, and that's I think about all I can say other than thank you, guys. Again, thank you for subscribing to this channel. This channel is really just a homegrown channel, low tech, cell phone, earbuds, really low tech. This channel is not made on the behalf of growing to have a huge following or to constant be promoting subscriptions. You know, this is just my personal journey of making a video talking about something I think is interesting, whether it be one of my guitars, something that I bought recently like Deal of the Week, talking about the Ibanez. It's a great guitar, and I found it to be like, if you were interested in something like that, what did I really find personal to really to kind of like convey why it's a great guitar. This is kind of the only reason why I do it. I don't make these videos and ask that you subscribe to this channel because it's just my personal, you know, journey for me, and I'm just sharing with you. And I know some of you guys will actually give me some feedback, which is I always do appreciate it. Finding this guitar, talking about mojo, talking about what makes up the mojo. I'm really happy about this Les Paul, this Epiphone, super nice. And also this Ibanez, great instrument, you know, coming to terms with understanding how this mod works. So you get 10 different tones out of these pickups. I also discovered now, and I've seen it, but I don't think I've played it. There's another version of this. It doesn't have the same mod, but it's an HSS, and it comes in at a really low price too, like I think around $400, and it comes with a quilted top also, not a quilted but a flamed maple top, and for a lot less money. But I don't think they come with stainless steel frets. Maybe they do. They do have the roasted maple neck. I think they do come with the Jabota fretboard. This one looks a lot like rosewood. Sometimes the Jabota can be very light, and I kind of stay away from guitars. if I have to, where the Jabota is very light wood. I like things that are at least dark. Yeah, so not all woods on the fretboard are to my liking, but yeah, so some of them, I could live without, but it is what it is. So, but I'm thinking of maybe getting, or at least trying the one that's the HSS, and I think the one mod that they have incorporated is a little different. I think it's called the iMix 19, and then is it 9? Maybe it's 9, and this is the 10 because you get 10. So I think the other mod is 9. I don't know, but anyway, yeah. So thanks for hanging out, guys. Thank you for any new subscribers. Thank you that you found it to subscribe to this channel. I appreciate it. I really do. It's not recommended. I don't ask anybody to. You don't have to. This is not about me growing this channel and asking anybody to subscribe. That's your own personal choice, but I do appreciate it. Maybe one day I'll really get into, I don't know. It takes a lot of work to do a YouTube channel, something like what Philip McKnight does. And I don't want to do it for a living, I want to always be able to do it for fun. And I don't want the premise to be to just, asking people to subscribe. And like that seems to be like what a lot of guys on YouTube, they're like, they do these videos under the premise to get you to subscribe so they can grow their channel. That's not why I do this. I do it because this is my personal journey through music. And when I buy a guitar and I find a great deal, I like to share it with you. Just like when I got this one, out of Rancho Cucamonga. This was a great 25-year-old Fender Strat. I didn't buy it to make a video for the channel. I bought it because it's a damn badass guitar. It's just super cool, man. This thing plays like butter. It's just, it's just such a nice guitar, and the way that the back of the neck got caramelized. This thing's definitely got some mojo. But anyway, thanks for joining, and I wish you a blessed Sunday. Take care as always, and yeah, check out, if you have the right stuff, check out the Lumos DSP and the Funk Filter. Really fun. And I think as guitar players, we're sometimes in the search of something that gives us inspiration to want to play guitar, because it's not always easy, Even when you have a collection of guitars, sometimes there's no inspiration to pick them up. Sometimes it's the tone of something, it's the sound of something that makes you want to pick it up. And you have to have discipline to sit down and play your instrument. Because the reality is, if you stop playing, you'll lose that desire. And I don't think I'm not ready to give up the desire to want to play and have fun with music. So that's why I'm making this video, to talk about the Funk Filter. Yeah, it was cool, man. Kind of discover what the Funk Filter does, So we'll get rid of that, and then I'll get back to the Funk Filter. Sounds a lot different on this guitar than the Epiphone. Middle position. position 2. Anyway, have a blessed Sunday, guys. Take care.